The further we went into the country, the more dangerous it was actually becoming. I was arrested only once during the revolution in the town where my grandmother lived, deep in the southern Moravia, very conservative, very religious part of the country. I was walking down the street, just wearing a Czech flag. That's how they could tell a striking student. Little badge, and all of a sudden the police car pulled up by the curb. There were two policemen just kind of snatching me and my friend and getting us in a car, searching us, interrogating us for 3 hours, and then letting us go. But that was scary because they let us go in the evening. We had no way to contact anybody, our family, nobody. The places where we were supposed to arrive, we did not arrive. So everybody was worried. They contacted my parents, wondering if I'm home because I did not report back. My parents got scared. My father got drunk, and just I never knew that my father really liked me so much until I came home 2 days later, and he hugged me probably for the first time in my life. I mean, he hugged me, but he was drunk, so I don't know. It doesn't go. Because my father was in the military, and that was another thing, which is like when I was talking about the ideological rift in the families. It was not so much ideological, but he was in the military. The military, we didn't know about that when we were striking, was put on alert, and they got guns, and they got their vehicles started, ready for a crackdown. And I didn't know about it. I just came home from my being arrested and released, and a lot of fun because we had happenings in Alamos. And in my family, everybody was silent. My mother, she was walking like a lunatic almost. My brother was also in the military. My father, they were eating silently the dinner. And I was thinking, what's wrong with you guys? We have a revolution. I know that you don't appreciate it so much, but at least you can act normal. And then my brother tells me, you think you're having fun. We are not having fun. We have been called on duty. We are on alert 24 hours a day. We have beepers, sitting on the shelf over there. And anytime we can get an order to get in the cars, get our guns, and crack down on you guys. And I was like, are you telling me that you, my brother, and my father, you get guns and go and shoot me? And my brother said, no, we're not going to Olomouc, we're going to Ostrava. We wouldn't shoot you. I was thinking, like, oh my God. So, well, that was the time when I realized that it was not funny at all. And that while we were having our strike, and we were 2 weeks after the beginning of the strike, we believed quite safe. We were quite safe in Olomouc. We were not so much safe, but other people had their own frustrations and their own decisions to make. Because I was looking at my brothers, he's like 3 years old, 3 years younger brother, and I said, you would really shoot someone who is your age? And he says, well, I just hope I won't have to. But, he just hoped he wouldn't have to make that decision. But we know that later on in December, what happened in Romania, they did use military, and there were casualties. And so that was the time when we really did not sometimes realize, like Jim said, how difficult time it was for many people. We were having the strike, and we were striking, and we were having the managing of the strike to do. Here is this is the table there with people who were these were our checkpoints. And when I said that people were donating things, I remember two stories which still are kind of touching for me. People would come to that desk or that table, there was a box on it, and they could put money in it, they could give us food or anything, they would offer us their cars to use, paper, everything that they could bring. And at one day there was these two little boys, they were twins, they were both about 5, and they brought in this little plastic bowl full of coins, and they said, we were saving this because we wanted to buy a puppet theater, but we heard that the students need the money, so we brought you the money. And that was so touching that, these two little guys with all their lifelong savings, short life savings, but, giving up their puppet theater because students doing something they could not understand, but they believed that that was important. they gave us all the savings for the puppet theater. By that time we had so much money that we bought them the puppet theater, but that was touching. And when I was telling this, I would go now and then to the national meetings of the strike committees and as representative of our university, and I was telling this story to a friend of mine, from Prague, and he said, well, that's a touching story, but I tell you mine, and that's worse. Because I was at this checkpoint, on duty in the middle of the night, and I was really tired, I was falling asleep, and there comes a man, like an older guy, and he says, I came to donate some money. Where can I put it? Do you have a ledger or something where we would take that? I said, oh well, I don't know, there's no one there today, just there's a box, throw it in there, and in the morning someone will pick it up. It was like 2 in the morning. And he says, all right. So he went to the box, and when he was leaving the building, he says, well, I'm too old, I don't think that I would use that car that much anyway, and left. And he says, I'm there, dozing off, and then just, what he has said is dawning on me. I think, what was he saying about the car? So I got up, ran to the box, and I found an envelope with 70,000 Czech crowns, which at that time was really a lifelong saving. The price of a car at that time was, you could probably afford 1, maybe 2 cars in your lifetime. There was no way you could save more money. And he gave us the whole amount of money he saved for the car, and he left. So he says, that friend of mine said, I ran out of the building because I didn't even say thank you to him. I wanted to say at least thank you. I never found the man. He was gone. He was gone. He gave us all his money, left without a thank you, because I'm still looking for him. We put up signs and posters everywhere. We want to say thank you, but we never found him. Well, maybe they found him later on, but by the time there was a wait, they never found him. Gave them all the money. So these were the moments when I really, as I started this part, when I was proud of my nation, proud of my people, because that was a wonderful time. Of course, now 20 years later, we would have different stories to tell about our politicians and about many other people, but that was this upsurge of the national pride and appreciation of what the people were doing at the squares everywhere, and we, as Jim said, we never expected that because we saw that the Czechs are basically very opportunistic, very lazy, and not very exciting nation. At that time, we just felt that we were great, and the world was looking at us too. I still have the copy of the Time magazine, which says, "And now Prague," and you have the striking people on the front cover. That was a great time. Jim, now you have your happening.
Okay.